I first met Noah spring when we were freshmen.
I first met Noah in the front room of Val.
So I met Noah because I was hanging out with Ned, and Ned wanted to talk to Noah. So it unfortunately became mandatory that I also had to talk to Noah.
So I met Noah orientation week of 2012.
And we got involved in the divestment campaign. And that was when we were young and bushy-eyed. And that's not a phrase. Bushy-tailed.
But when I really met him was when we were on the same foot trip. And I'd vaguely known him because, we had done a couple Frisbee things together that week. And, we were in similar circles for like the first couple days.
And thought we could make real change in the world.
I was actually really intimidated by the prospect of speaking to him.
And here we are, 3 years later, and nothing has changed.
Because he seemed like this ethereal, quirky creature that there was no way I'd ever be able to access with like my limited range of human emotional capacity.
So I'd met him, and I convinced him to come on our canoeing trip because he hadn't actually been signed up for either one he was supposed to be. And so he came on to our canoeing trip, our advanced canoeing trip, that ended up being a disaster.
Beginning of junior spring, I sat down across from him, who I didn't know, Ben Walker, who I did not know, and Julia, who I did know, and
But, so we end up on this canoeing trip, and the very first day, Noah knows way more about canoeing than anybody else on the trip. And so we get in the same boat, and for the entire day, we are just waiting in the water because we cruise down, end up like a mile ahead of everybody else who's going super slow, has to wait and sit back.
Noah says, "Which of the three of us is the weirdest?"
But luckily, we loosened the situation with some alcohol.
And I thought, what the fuck?
And we're able to connect just fine.
But over the course of those 3 days, we actually end up having to row an extra 25 miles because Jen Goodshift, who Noah knows, accidentally misplanned our entire trip and made it way longer than it was supposed to be. So, throughout that entire trip, I got to know Noah. Unfortunately, we never got to be in the same boat because you had to be in different boats.
It's a hard question, Hannah. I'd say, how did Noah meet me? But that's not what you asked. That's not the story you want to hear. Noah met me when he ran into me one night, the second night of college, the first night of college, outside of Arms Music Hall.
Or with different people the entire time, so we used up our time because we knew each other at the very beginning, and so throughout that trip we got to know each other as well as the 6 or 7 other people, and I think John he was in that trip, but I felt very lucky to have him on that trip. And then
I was just chilling with all my real friends, Steve Mulder, Michael Harmon, probably Rob Kroll. We watched some jazz, and I ran out. I know, just bumped into me. I was like, whoa, slow down, small guy.
And then, we got to come back and we ended up playing Frisbee together before he got hurt because he's made of glass.
I'm a big pup in a big pup's world. Little pups, not allowed.
How did you meet Noah?
Well, I'm pretty sure that I met Noah in Morgan Ashley Brown's room.
And he was like, okay. And it was like that from there on out.
And that was probably how I got to meet Noah, and I got to know Noah, and we've never turned back. So
Noah.
I never met him. He just appeared.
In Chapman, our freshman year. And, but we didn't actually spend any time together until the ASIMS course, when I spent a lot of time cheating with Gabby Mayer, and we didn't cheat with him. Okay.
The Barnett emails.
Oh, it's just arming humor.
He has none.
His charm and grace.
I think Noah's most lovable quality is his ability to make everything about himself, and subsequently his love for his birthday.
Fiddlehead Fern. And I'm not gonna give any reason for that.
Dried pickle. Dried pickle.
A sweet potato.
Why?
Because it is versatile. Tastes good. And
Are you implying my boyfriend
Yes.
tastes good?
loyal companion. And reliable and friendly. And he's really caring.
Carrot. Because he's half in the ground and then he's half in the sky.
If Noah was a vegetable, what would he be and why?
Kohlrabi. Because he's knobbly and underappreciated.
Noah was a vegetable. I would actually have to say that he is the fresh triple delight, which is a Chinese dish consisting of potatoes, green peppers, and eggplant in a delicious brown sauce. I think this is because Noah is really multifaceted. It's impossible to put his personality into just one vegetable, and he also eats a lot of potatoes, so I would assume he's at least 1/3 potato.
It's gotta be doing push-ups every morning sophomore year to get strong and physically fit.
That's a good question. I guess I would have to say last year when we went up to Bar Harbor for senior week with the suite that we lived with last year, one day there was a bear that tried to break into the house. And, you know, basically everyone else was useless. Amar just ran and hid in a corner. You know, Rainer tried to make friends with the bear. But RJ was just sort of started trying to logistically plan out what the best course of action was. But I would say that it was Noah who really had the best approach, which was he'd already been collecting some spores for his thesis, and he had a pouch of them in his backpack, and he grabbed them and threw the spores into the bear's face, and it just started coughing and sneezing, and then ran away.
Alright, so I think he'd assume that I would discuss some of the very weird things we've done together, like when I regrettably licked his back. But for me, there's like one very clear moment that sticks out of last spring when I was going through hell and like needed a lot of support. In one moment, I would pull multiple all-nighters a week and just had so much work. And Noah, out of like nowhere, did not need to do this, just like bought me a bag of chocolate-covered raisins. Which, like, first, him knowing that I love chocolate-covered raisins was awesome, and him doing it with, like, not even being asked, or me even saying anything to him about being in a bad spot, just, like, seeing me, recognizing that I needed help and being there for me was, like, one of the best moments of, you know, my semester, and, like, completely made my week, made me feel so much better, and it was just, like, so nice to know that I had a friend like Noah there for me, and, like, willing to recognize when I was upset, and also willing to do something about it, and, like, very few people, I feel like, at Amherst College would do something so nice. So that is my favorite memory.
I'd say going on that hike last weekend. It was so much fun. Noah was a great sport. Noah was running. Noah was hiking. Noah was talking. Noah was laughing. Just crying. He wasn't crying. He was having a great time. He was having a jam. Like jam rock, like you, me, Noah, we're just like a team.
Okay. It's so far past my bedtime. Whew. But I've got so much more work to do on my thesis. Oh my god.
何家昨天的雨下得太大了。
Ugh. I wish that I didn't have to look at all these plants so much. I can't believe that Professor Hood asked me to do all these things and I immediately agreed because I always need his approval.
哇！中国的问题太重要了。Bob, are we going to the party yet? Biddy bop bop, skidda, skidda. Are we going to the party? Well, you know what they say, Hannah. It takes two to wear jorts. And I would have been alone if it weren't for Noah.
So I was looking through my emails and I discovered that Noah in junior year still did not know how to add someone to the Gap listserv. So what he would do whenever anyone asked him is he'd forward it on to me and say, Anna, please do this for me. So I think really what Noah adds to my life is a measure of incompetence that is really unbounded by, or unmatched by any of my other friends.
I would not have made it through Strange Russian Writers without Noah Lerner. It was what could have been a traumatic experience had I not had a very valuable ally in Noah. And because of that, he just made my academic career that much more enriched. Because that ended up being one of my favorite classes, and I just would not have had that same relationship to the course without Noah.
Without Noah, my life wouldn't have anything to be added to.
Oh.
This is beautiful.
How does Mr. Noah Lerner add to my life? Noah always likes to tell the story about how freshman year I would always go around, mostly when we were drunk, and I'd put my arm around him at a party, and he would, and I would go, Noah, can you believe we're friends? We're so different. Can you believe we're friends? And it's so funny to look back on that now, because I thought it was weird at the time that somebody so different from me was friends with me, but in hindsight, I needed to be friends with Noah Lerner. I think looking back on it now, of all the great close friends and relationships that I've had at Amherst College, my friendship with Noah is the one that's changed me the most. I was way too serious about myself, serious about everything freshman year, and Noah has changed my perspective on a lot of things. So Noah, if there's anything that's happened here, you've made me a goofier, funnier, generally more enjoyable person. So love you, happy 23rd.
Happy birthday, Noah!
Happy birthday, Noah!
Happy birthday, Noah!
Happy birthday, Noah! Smoke a big one for us.
Birthday!